everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we have a new episode of the Infernity Chronicles. For those who don't know, the Infernity Chronicles is a series I started almost a year ago, I think, where me and my community design support for Infernity. So I get an application from someone from my community sending their takes on how they would like Konami to design support for Infernity, and I review them and share my thoughts and process on them. So I will be reviewing them in depth in a video, because as you all know, Infernity desperately needs support to be viable Pure again. We're talking in specific Pure. We want Pure Infernity to be a viable deck again, and not like top tier meta, but very playable like in the meta. In today's meta. So I get an application from someone from the community, and then they share how they would like Konami to support them, and I will go in depth about the support cards. In depth about the support cards in this video. I will also playtest them and just share my thoughts and process like already explained. That basically, in today's video we have an application from XYZ dharak, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. We got an application from him. Thank you so much for sending your application and for the video. I'm really excited. We haven't done this in a while. I haven't got an application in a while, but hopefully this will get more applications for this series, because I really like to see everybody's takes on how they would support Infernity for the future, like as in what Konami should do with Infernity as a pure archetype, as in like how to make it a viable playable deck again. That basically, so I got cards sent, and I will go over them and playtest them and just showcase my thoughts and experience with them. Big shout outs to XYZ dharak for participating in this video for the Infernity Chronicles. Really glad that I got a new application. I really like doing this series. Like said, I really like to see everybody's take on how they would support Infernity. If you would also like to participate, be sure to read the rules in the pinned comment. That's pretty important. I did make the rules a bit different than before, but it's still basically the same thing. If you're interested, let me send me a DM on Discord, or let me know via YouTube, and then we can arrange something. Like I said, pretty important, read the rules, and let's go into first card by card. Alright, we're gonna start with the main deck monsters, go to the extra deck monsters, and then we go from spells to traps, like always. Starting here off first with Earthbound Immortal Kapu Kapu Feared Memory. So an Earthbound Immortal Kapu Kapu retrain, which is really cool. What I already want to note about this support wave, it's focused about Dark Signer Kellen Kessler instead of the Crashtown Kellen Kessler, which is also really cool to see for sure, because both versions of Kellen are really cool, of course. And so I'm really cool to see a Dark Signer variant like of retrains for Infernity, which I'm really excited about to showcase you all. Like I said, we first have Earthbound Immortal Kapu Kapu Feared Memory. There can only be one Earthbound Immortal on the field. Your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. This card can attack directly. You can discard this card, add one Earthbound field spell from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. While you control a field spell, this card gains the following effect. You can banish dark monsters from your graveyard whose total level is equal or more than 10, special summon this card from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Earthbound Immortal Kapu Kapu Feared Memory once per turn. Also want to note it's a dark level 10 fiend with 3000 attack and 2500 attack defense, which is basically the same stats as the original Earthbound Immortal Kapu Kapu. What does this do on its own? Well, it has the OG Earthbound Immortal effects, of course, being able to attack directly. and that there can only be one Earthbound Immortal on the field. Also that it cannot be targeted for attacks, of course, like, yeah, the OG Earthbound Immortals. What it also does is, yeah, it searches an Earthbound field spell from your deck to your hand and discards a card. So it empties your hand in the process and searches you a field spell for Earthbound. Not being an Infernity thing, of course, but so on its own it wouldn't be Infernity support, but it would be Earthbound support. But later on we will get to an Earthbound field spell that is made for Infernity, of course. Like otherwise this card wouldn't be, yeah, an application for this video. But yeah, also being able to summon it out by banishing monsters from the dark monsters from the graveyard whose total level equals or is more than 10 is really cool. Because then you have a direct attack beater on your field. This is really good against like decks that play towers, for example, Luna Light. You can put this card on your board and just attack directly instead of attacking over them. Or, for example, Raid Raptor, you know. It's really very cool to see versus tower decks, like said. But yeah, that basically, that is what it does. It searches a field spell and empties the hand in the process, really, which is really cool. Like said, it doesn't do anything for Infernity if this card would come out alone, but it does, of course, because like this is an entire support wave of cards. So we will get into this card again when we get to the field spell, of course. So let's continue. Next up, we got Earthbound Enforced Linewalker, being a dark level 3 Fiend Tuner with 0 attack and 0 defense. Yeah, as our next monster. Let's go through it. If this card is normal summoned, you cannot special summon from the extra deck during this turn, except Fiend and or Dragon Synchro monsters. Also, you can special summon one level 3 or lower Infernity or Earthbound monster from your deck, but it cannot activate its effects, except if there is a field spell on the field. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Fiend monster from your graveyard to your hand. You can only activate each effect of Earthbound Enforced Linewalker once per turn. This card is not treated as an Infernity, which is fine, which is totally fine. This card is searchable by, for example, it can be searched off the Earthbound Prisoner Stone Sweeper, which is really cool. It can also be searched off by Nightmare Throne because it's a 0 attack, 0 defense Fiend. Which is really cool, and it can be searched by, of course, the other cards in the support wave. So if this card would come out on its own, like, of course, it's not searchable by Archfiend, which is fine, because, like I said, you already have Nightmare Throne and Linewalker. But yeah, then why is it not treated as an Infernity? We will see later on in the support wave. What it does do is on normal summon, you can special summon one level 3 or lower Infernity or Earthbound monster from your deck. It can also be another copy of itself, which is pretty funny. So you can have 2 copies of this card on the field. What does it achieve? Not really anything. Sure, a level 3 tuner on the field, but that's it. You want to, of course, special summon an Infernity from this. It can summon Necromancer, it can summon Mirage, Sage, whatever, like 1 level 3 or lower. Sadly, cannot be Archfiend, but that is fine because of the rest of the support wave. But if this card would come out on its own, then I would rather have that it can also summon Archfiend from the deck, of course. But yeah, this is a starter for Infernity, which is really cool, and I really like this take on a starter. Of course, you need to have a field spell on the field in order to activate the effect of the monster you just summoned, which is totally okay, especially with the new Earthbound Immortal we just reviewed. And we got the new field spell, of course, in the support wave. So it's totally fine that it does it like that. Also, its secondary effect that you can banish it to add a Fiend monster from a graveyard to your hand is pretty useful, especially in grind games. For example, re-add Mirage, re-add Necromancer, you know, whatever you need at that moment. You can just re-add with this card from the graveyard, which is really cool. And you can use the effects... both of these effects in the same turn. I'm looking at you, Infernity Paranoia. Infernity Paranoia cannot do that for some reason. And to be fair, there's a lot more wrong with Infernity Paranoia. But yeah, this card is really solid, and I would like to see such a starter for sure. I rather not see a starter for sure like this if it doesn't come with more cards, then I would like another take on a starter card. But for the rest, with this support combined, this card is an insane starter for sure. All right, next up we have Infernity Coyote. It's a level 5 Dark Fiend tuner with 1900 attack and 1500 defense, and its effect reads: for the synchro summon of a Dark Fiend or Dragon synchro monster, you can treat this card as a non-tuner monster. You can tribute one Infernity monster on the field, special summon this card. It should say special summon this card from the graveyard. My bad, I made a typo, but it should say special summon this card from the graveyard. You must have no cards in hand to activate and to resolve this effect. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except Dragon or Fiend monsters. If this card is sent from the hand to the graveyard, you can set one Infernity trap card from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Infernity Coyote once per turn. First, I want to note is it's a level 5, so K9 Infernity is real. It's already a real variant, by the way. Like, I'm still cooking lots with it, but it's very real for sure. But yeah, this is a level 5 Infernity, so this would make it even better. But yeah, what does this do? It can summon itself from the graveyard, which is pretty fine. I mean, first you need to get access to it, of course, which you can with ease, of course. But on its own, it doesn't really do anything. Sure, it sets an Infernity trap card from the graveyard, which is pretty useful and pretty cool. It can just reset barriers, a reset break, whatever. But yeah, on its own, it doesn't do anything more. It just really needs to be in play with, of course, another card. You rather not see this card. You just want to send it from the deck to the graveyard, would say, or access it. Otherwise, you just definitely don't want to see this in your opening hand, except for like specific stuff. I mean, Joku effect question. But yeah, its other effect that it can tribute one Infernity monster on the field, especially from the graveyard, is, like said, fine. It's a level 5 tuner, which is really cool. So you can synchro summon with, for example, you can make level 8s with Necromancer, or you can make level 9s with Archfiend, or whatever you need at the moment. It can also be treated as a non-tuner, like said, like make this with Sage, make Zalen, or whatever, which is pretty cool. I mean, this is a fine one-off card for sure, but if this would come out without support, then of course, yeah, it's not worth it at all. But yeah, for this support wave, it's really interesting and a fine one-off for sure. I really like the design on this card. As like a solid like a resource manager card, and its level is pretty amazing for sure for certain plays. Alright, next up we have Infernity Cleric, being a dark level 3 fiend monster with 0 attack and 0 defense. And it reads: once per turn you can declare a level from 1 to 3. This card becomes that level until the end phase. Also, you can treat this card as a tuner for the synchro summon of a dragon or fiend synchro monster. Its other effect reads: you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one level 3 or lower Infernity monster from your deck. Except Infernity Cleric, you must have no cards in hand to activate and to resolve this effect. You can only use this effect of Infernity Cleric once per turn. This card is bonkers busted. This would be a really good card to see just already on its own. But with this support wave, it becomes so much more better. Like, this makes the Earthbound Servant Linewalker an insane one-card combo. You can just go for Linewalker, normal summon, special summon this from the deck, and then synchro those two away in order to make whatever level 7, 6, 5, even 4 synchro monster you want to make. Of course, being dark locked by and dark and dragon fiend locked by cleric and force Linewalker. But yeah, that doesn't really matter at that point. For its secondary effect, by the way, is lock free. Second effect is lock free, which is pretty cool, which would already, like said, make this card insane on its own. It summons any level 3 or lower from deck, so sadly no Archfiend, but that's fine. Hey, you can summon Necromancer, Mirage from your deck, which I'm really happy and fine with, for sure. This is, of course, its second effect is hard once per turn, making it an instant one-off, of course. But still, insane one-off it is for sure. It's pretty okay to open also, because if you open it, you can just discard it and then just use its effect in the graveyard. And yeah, its first effect is really great to, it's soft once per turn, so you can keep on making it a different level and make all kinds of synchro monsters, which is really cool. Also, one quick note, it's a 0 attack, 0 defense fiend, so also searchable with Nightmare Throne, or you can just destroy it with Nightmare Throne, and then you have it directly in the graveyard, which is pretty cool. So yeah, this card is a great card for sure, and already would love to see this card being a card on its own for sure. Next up, we have Infernity Battle Dwarf being a level 2 Dark Fiend monster with 800 attack and 500 defense, and its effect reads: while you have no cards in your hand, Infernity monsters you control inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. If this card is special summoned, you can send one Infernity monster from your deck to the graveyard. Also, you can treat this card as a tuner for the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect of Infernity Battle Dwarf once per turn. One thing I want to quick note, yes, they made Dwarf a Fiend instead of a Warrior. Infernity, for some reason, has some cards being randomly being a Warrior or a Beast or an insect, you know. But this is an actual Fiend, which I'm really happy about. Funny enough, its first effect is worse than the original dwarf, because the original dwarf makes it so that while you have no cards in hand, everything deals piercing battle damage. But hey, it's fine. We're just here to play it for its second effect. When it's summoned, it sends an Infernity from deck. Also, this card can be treated as a tuner. On its own, it wouldn't be so good. I mean, like, Sage is better at that point, but for the support wave, it's pretty nice. You can summon this from your deck with Cleric, and then you can activate its effect, send an Infernity from deck to the graveyard, and then treat it as a tuner, which is pretty great. Also, for its second effect, you don't need to not have cards on hand, so you can just use it with cards on hand, which is pretty nice. Yeah, for the support wave, it's really, really nice for sure. Like, cool one-off for sure. I've been testing it. Like I said, I've been testing everything of this. I think it is quite. Also, you can cut this, but it's still really nice to have that piercing effect for certain matchups. And its second effect, like I said, it's fine. It can just dump an Infernity from your deck. For synchros, we're starting with 100-eyed Doomed Dragon, being a dark level 10 dragon synchro monster with 3,500 attack and 3,000 defense. And its effect reads: it requires one dark tuner plus one or more non-tuner dark monsters. And for its synchro requirements and for its effect, you can only control 100-eyed Doom Dragon. You can target one monster on the field or one dark monster in your graveyard, banish that card. Also, this card gains the effect of the banished monster until the end of this turn. This is a quick effect if you have no cards in your hand. If this card leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can add one dark monster from your deck to your hand. The only thing I want to note is it's not treated as an Infernity whatsoever, which is pretty sad, but hey, it's fine for such a great card. It is a great card. You can easily make level 10s in Infernity, especially with the support wave, and its effect is really cool and original, as in, like, you can banish a monster from your opponent's field or just on the field, or one dark monster from your graveyard, and then it copies its effect. For example, special summon Kashtira Fenrir, use 100-eyed Doom Dragon effect. It now has the effect of Kashtira Fenrir, which is really cool. Or just, whatever at that point. Also, it's not. It's totally generic, by the way, being a dark tuner and non-tuner dark monsters, which is pretty cool. So any deck can make this, but of course, Infernity really profits here from the most because it becomes a quick effect while you have no cards in hand, of course. So that's a really nice, add up for the effect, of course. One thing I do miss in this effect is kind of like the Doom Dragons and reference, as in, like, Doom Dragon, of course, pops a card on the field, but this doesn't have anything to do with Doom Dragon. This is basically just a retrained 100-eyed dragon, which I'm totally fine with again. But yeah, just one small note on that. But for the rest, it's really cool. You can only control one, which is totally fine. I mean, if you would have 3 of this card on your field, it would be pretty crazy. It's really good during your opponent's turn. It's also really nice going second for sure. Its second effect, when it leaves the field because of an opponent's target card, you can add one dark monster from your deck to your hand. It's really nice for follow-up. Of course, Infernity needs to have no cards in hand, but you can choose, if you want to add, of course. So if it leaves the field during the end phase, for example, you can just add Dark Monster for follow-up, which is pretty cool. But yeah, mostly you will be using the first effect, and the second effect is, depends on the scenario. But yeah, really cool card and really cool retrain for an Infernity boss monster. Next up, we have Infernity Necrocaster, being a level 6 Dark Fiend Synchro monster with 400 attack and 2400 defense. This effect reads: it requires one Dark Tuner plus one or more non-tuner Infernity monsters. And if this card is synchro summoned, you can add one spell or trap card that mentions Infernity in its text from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except dark monsters. Will you have no cards in your hand? This card gains the following effect. You can special summon one Infernity or Earthbound monster from your graveyard, then you can special summon one dark monster from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Infernity Necrocaster once per turn. This card is like one of the best cards in the support wave. Like, this is pretty crazy. It can unsynchro summon search a spell trap that mentions Infernity. Hey, hello there, we finally have a searcher for 0 max. Wave Motion, Inferno, Hell, even Phantom Hand. Not that you want to search those cards off this card, but hey, it's funny that it can. And I really like that the creator of the cards, of this card, made it viable for you to search those cards, because why couldn't we search those cards before with Archfiend? But hey, it's fine, you know. Now with this card we can, if this card would be real, of course. But yeah, this does pretty much everything for the deck. I mean, it searches Infernity spell traps. Like without this, without more of this support, you would search with this for Launcher, Reaper, whatever you need at the moment, that extra trap. But yeah, the rest of the spell and traps lineup are looking pretty insane. So this card has even more utility. Also, its first effect can be used when you have cards on hand, so that's pretty nice. And it only locks you in dark monsters, so even if this card would come out on its own, it's already really good, and you would play it for sure, because I mean, it only locks you in dark extra decks, which is totally fine. Like we have enough. There are so many good dark extra deck monsters. Sure, it turns off Fiendsmith. Hey, it's fine. We can play Pure Infernity / more Infernity with this. And then we haven't really already talked about the secondary effect. The secondary effect is the most craziest part about this. And this is a synchro, and this is an extender. It searches and it extends. It does everything, like that. It can special summon an Infernity or Earthbound monster for cost from the graveyard. Then you can also special summon another dark from the graveyard. So it's Necromancer on steroids, but of course this card is hard once per turn, which is totally fine. When I got this card sent before, it was soft once per turn, which I was like, I would really like the enthusiasm, but I mean, like, realistically, we aren't getting such card, and it would be crazy overpowered. I mean, like, if this wasn't if this was soft once per turn, we would do the nastiest shit with this, for sure. And it's already nasty being a hard once per turn. Like I said, summon the Infernity or Earthbound monster for cost, and then special summon another dark from the graveyard. One thing note, never summon Archfiend with the first effect, with the first summon, because there's a second summon, Archfiend misses timing, so always make Archfiend your second summon, so the dark monster. But yeah, this, like I said, this does everything for Infernity. Sure, the materials are a bit more non-generic, but hey, that's fine, especially with this support. Infernity can easily bring this out. It's a level 6, it's like the level we can bring out the most consistent, together with level 8 and stuff. But yeah, this card is pretty bad lad crazy, and I really like the design on this card being like a new version of Necromancer, but then in the extra deck, which is really cool. Would really love to see such card being reality, and really shoutouts to the card's creator for like the really cool making of this card. Like I said, I really like everything about this card. Necrocaster is broken, but wait till you learn what this card does. Infernity Burning is a continuous spell that reads you can only control one Infernity Burning. You can discard one card, send one Infernity monster from your deck to the graveyard. You cannot send monsters with the same name as monsters you send with Infernity Burning this turn. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of this turn, except of Fiend and or Dragon monsters. Will you control a field spell, you can normal summon level 5 or higher Dark Tuner monsters without tributing. Once per turn, while you have no cards in your hand, you can activate one Infernity Trap card the turn it was set. Like said, Necrocaster does everything, but this does even more. It's like, Infernity, like one of Infernity wettest dream is having a King Sark for Infernity, and this is a King Sark for Infernity, but then even more busted. King Sark is up to 4 times per turn. This is not once per turn. You can just discard your entire hand and then just mill 5 Infernities from your deck, which is pretty crazy. Of course, not with the same name, and you get a lock of that you can only activate monster effects being fiend and or dragon monsters, but I'm totally fine with that if we get a card this crazy. Especially in like pure variants, this lock doesn't do anything, but the already in general, like we already play fiend link extra deck. Like this card already on its own would do so much. Also that you can activate a trap card the turn it was set is insane. Like this makes suppression even much more worse than it already is, because this card turns every Infernity trap into a suppression. But then yeah, not better, but hey, it's still really good. I mean, barrier being a card you can directly activate is busted, but yeah, this card is just crazy. Like we haven't also talked about the second effect that you can normal summon level 5 or higher Dark Tuner monsters without tributing. That's totally fine with me. Like it's an extra thing you can. It's made for the Dark Tuner Nightmare hand or Dark Tuner Catastrophe, which is really cool. That like this card has synergy with the Dark Tuners, which was intended by the card's creator, because the Dark Tuner, of course, Nightmare hand was used by Dark Signer Cannon Kessler. But yeah, this card does everything. You want to search this. It's not once per turn. This card makes it so that Infernity can play hand traps with ease. Like normal summon Enforced Linewalker, summon Cleric from deck, synchro into Necrocaster. Necrocaster search this, activate this, yeet your entire hand to the graveyard and mill Infernities on the way there. Yeah, this card makes Infernity like so and so much better, like Pure Infernity, like already on its own, like said, but yeah, in this support wave, holy shit. Yeah, this is crazy. King Sark for Infernity. I wouldn't have expected to see this, but it actually happened. It's insane. It's crazy. Yeah, really, yeah. What I think every Infernity would like to see such card become reality, but I don't think Konami is gonna allow to ever print such card for Infernity. But hey, I really hope to see this become real for sure. Like said, every Infernity player's wettest dream. Next up, we have Earthbound Fear Inducement, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's another continuous spell that reads, this card is always treated as an Infernity card, and when this card is activated, you can add one level 3 or lower Infernity monster from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. Then you can send one Earthbound monster from your deck to the graveyard. Level 8 and or higher Earthbound monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated spell trap effects. You can only activate one Earthbound Fear Inducement per turn. It is treated as an Infernity card, which is really cool, so it's searchable of Archfiend. But the only thing really this card does is set up Dark Tuner Nightmare hand plays, because you go for this, add back the Dwarf or any level 2 or level 1, and then go, no, you must search level 2, of course. And then you go for Nightmare Hand effect to normal summon Nightmare Hand effect to summon out a level 2. You just searched off this card from the graveyard to summon. Yeah, to summon both, and then Dark Tuner Nightmare can of course Dark Synchro summon. This is like, it's fine. It can add from graveyard or banishment, which is, like said, fine. And then also send an Earthbound monster from deck to the graveyard. It can dump the new Kapu Kapu Feared Memory, for example. It can dump Enforced Linewalker, which is pretty okay. But yeah, this card is a one-off, or you just don't play it. But with this support wave, it's pretty fine one-off for sure. Because, like said, it sets up Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand plays, which is fine. But yeah, it's a pretty cuttable card from my testings. But like level 8 and or higher Earthbound monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activate spell trap effects is a pretty cool effect also. Like this entire card is pretty cool. I mean, we had so many like broken cards already. Like this is like fine for the rest of the support wave. It's an okay card for sure. Yeah, it makes an Earthbound monster basically kind of a towers, which is cool for the Feared Memory if you go for the Feared Memory gameplay. But yeah, much more it doesn't really do. It makes it so you do have to play Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand to play this, like make this as viable as possible. Of course, we're getting a card that searches Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand. But yeah, it's a one-off or a no-go for me. It's a really cool designed card though, for sure. Like that it works with Dark Tuner, Nightmare Hand and stuff, and that you make your Earthbound monsters unaffected. It's really cool. I really like the design on this card also, for sure. Next up, we have Earthbound Doom Geoglyph, which, like said, this is the new field spell that Feared Memory would search. If they were real, of course. And it's a field spell, like said, that reads when this card is activated, you can add one Earthbound monster from your deck to your hand. If you normal summon a Dark monster, you can target one Dark monster in your graveyard, add one Dark Tuner monster with the same level and type as the target monster from your deck to your hand. And if this card leaves the field by your opponent's card effect, you can set this card during the end phase of this turn. You can only activate one Earthbound Doom Geoglyph per turn. On activation, it can search an Earthbound monster, any monster. So, of course, you will be searching Earthbound Enforced Linewalker or Earthbound Stone Sweeper from your deck. You're not going to search for Feared Memory with this card, because Feared Memory, of course, is a card made to search this card, except if you really want to search the OG Geoglyph or Earthbound Prison, but we're not going to play that. So yeah, it's a really good card that just searches your starter. So it's basically another starter. It's it's, for example, like a Karstira field spell or whatever, Tearlament's field spell. It's just basically that. And then its second effect, with this second effect, you are realistically only searching Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand. Because you target the Dark in the graveyard and add one Dark Tuner monster with the same level and type as the targeted monster. So you go for a Feared Memory effect, search this card, activate this card, add from your deck Enforced Linewalker, and then you go for use its second effect to target the Feared Memory in the graveyard, add Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand from your deck, and then dump another copy of Feared Memory, so that Feared Memory is directly live, so you can summon it from the graveyard. And then you can go eventually for Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand. You re-add the Battle Dwarf from your graveyard with the card we just showcased, the Fear Inducement, that you search of Archfiend, and then you can go Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand, normal summon this. Normal summon that, then special summon the dwarf from your hand, and then you can activate the effect of Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand to make a level 8 synchro, or you can synchro summon it to a level 12. But yeah, that's what it does. It searches Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand, but we're mostly gonna use this for the first effect. If you want to go for the Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand route, then the secondary effect is really good. And then you would also have to play Fair Inducement like said. But yeah, this sets up the Earthbound plays like that. And it's a one-card starter also, like explained. Like this also makes the Feared Memory a one-card starter. Then plus this, and then also plus the Enforced Linewalker. So you have 3 one-card starters. You can play 9. Then you have 9 one-card starters already in the deck, and then we're not already counting Terraforming, Nightmare Throne, whatever. Like this card is really, really good, especially because of Earthbound Enforced Linewalker being a thing. But if this card would come out without rest of Infernity support, then of course this card would be an Earthbound support, to be fair. But yeah, I really like the design of this card. Also that you can just keep on resetting it during the end phase, which makes the Earthbound monster, which makes it so that your Earthbound monster never dies, which is really good. Yeah, this field spell is really, really great for sure. Really love the design on this card, and that you can combine it with Galen's Earthbound side of the deck, so with Kapu Kapu, or so the OG Kapu Kapu, Fear Inducement, Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand, etc. It's really cool design of this card. But yeah, you're mainly gonna use this to search Enforced Linewalker, and if you want to cut bricks, then you can just not play Fair Inducement and Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand and just use it for its first effect to search Enforced Linewalker. Alright, for the last card we have Infernity Amulet being a retrain of Death Amulet, which is really cool. It's a continuous trap that reads you can only control one Infernity Amulet. If your opponent has activated the effect in their hand during this turn, you can activate this card the turn it was set. Once per turn you can destroy one card on the field, then discard your entire hand. During your opponent's end phase, if you have no cards in your hand, you can add up to 2 level 3 or lower Infernity monsters from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special them from the extra deck for the rest of this duel, except Synchro monsters. This is a fine card, fine trap to Search of Archfiend. It destroys one card on the field, which Break also technically does, but this can be activated the turn it was set if you have no cards in hand. Also, it can add up to 2 level 3 or lower Infernity monsters for each end phase of your opponent's end phase to your hand. The only thing what I don't like is that it's only from deck, so it's not from graveyard, so it's not really resource. But still, it's fine. Like, it's a fine trap to run. I would probably just prefer to play Break over this. But hey, it's still fine. I mean, it's nice against K9, but you do have to discard your entire hand for it. Which, if I'm correct, doesn't work like if you have 0 cards in hand. But if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Then you can just also use it while you have no cards on hand and just discard no cards and destroy 1 card on the field. Then it is definitely better than Break. But yeah, it's a fine trap for the support wave. It's a cool design on the card. Definitely cool to see a Def Amulet Retrain, which is a card Callan used in the anime, of course. And it was technically designed for Infernity, but now it's an actual Infernity card. So yeah, it's a fine trap card for sure. A fine one-off trap card to run. It can also be reset from the graveyard with Infernity Coyote. But yeah, like I already explained, I rather run Break or a third barrier, to be fair. But hey, it's still fine. Like the second effect, of course, the continuous trap, which also takes up spell and trap zones. But it's fine. Like the second of if the second effect wasn't there, then there was no reason to play this card. But because of the second effect, like it is pretty okay trap to run because it can add 2 level 3 or lower Infernities from deck, so you have resource. But yeah, that basically, those were all the cards we got. We got 11 cards. Normally I'm always like 8 to 9 cards. But that's one of the rules I stopped using. I just want you all to make support. But that you think that realistically could drop in one time or in like 2 sets. An entire support wave, just how much you think Infernity needs. Basically, and then make that support. But yeah, of course, also be realistic. Of course, like they are 11 cards. I realistically think in the main set we'll get to like 8 till 9 cards, but 11 cards is fine if you think that for your support wave Infernity needs 11 cards. But yeah, also be realistic about it. Like if you're gonna enter with I made 20 support cards for Infernity, I'm just gonna say no, because 20 is unrealistic, and then at that point just make a couple of cards better. So you don't need the rest of the cards. But yeah, that basically, Amulet for the rest is a nice card. Shoutouts to the creator, Xyz Dharak, for making these and designing these cards. I really like the design on all of these cards, for sure. I really like how this matches the personality of Darksigner Callan Kessler, and that you can work with cards like Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand and the Earthbound cards. And a retrain of Kapu Kapu is so good, and I would really like to see it happen, because it would be cool to see like the Earthbound Infernity synergy for sure. Of course, I rather have pure Infernity, but hey, it's still pure Infernity. Like, you use a small Earthbound engine, and Kapu Kapu is an Infernity by heart for sure. Let's get into playtesting these cards, showcasing just a 1-card combo with the 1-card combo of how I would think the creator had it in mind. And then just go for like my own take on how I would use these support cards. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the support cards for the rest. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the support cards for the rest, like said. And let me know what you all would like to think, what you all think of these support cards in the comments down below. Let's get to playtesting. After testing with these cards for a couple of days, I came to the conclusion of this deck list for these support cards. The first thing to notice is that I'm not playing in this deck list the Dark Tuner package, as I would like to call it. So the Earthbound Continuous Spell, Battle Dwarf, and Dark Tuner Nightmare Hand, because they aren't needed. They are, to be fair, unnecessary bricks after testing them. They have their utility and usefulness, so I also made a list with them, but if they were actual cards, they could be perfectly cut. And so I came to the conclusion for this deck list. Yeah, for the Infernity names, I'm playing 2 Archfiends and 1 Necromancer, 1 Sage, 1 Mirage. Basically like those are your engine requirement cards. The Mirage could also be cut technically, but it's still, because we're not playing, like said, the Dark Tuner package with the Battle Dwarf. You really would like to summon Mirage of your Cleric. Because yeah, we're not playing the dwarf, so Mirage is very fire in this variant for sure, because you can just summon it from the deck. Yeah, Archfiend can also be at 1, but I always would like to play 2, even with the support for this variant, because if it, for example, gets banished, you have almost no way for returning it, basically, except with Return of the Reaper, which you have to hard draw. It's a perfect one-off. Then for the actual support cards, we're playing 3 of the Earthbound Linewalker, because it's a 1-card starter. Yeah, you just want to see it in your opening hand, of course, because like that's a 1-card starter. We play 1 Coyote. It's really nice to send off Burning, and it really makes nice plays. Also, it's really cool for follow-up that it can reset traps from graveyard. 1 Cleric, because you summon it off Enforced Linewalker. No need to play more because it's hard once per turn. 3 of the Earthbound Immortal to search for the field spell, of course. Also a 1-card starter. Yeah, I'm playing 3 of this and 2 of the field spell, because the variant has enough gas, so you can play more non-engine. 2 of the field spell is totally fine. Like I said, searchable wield with the Earthbound Immortal, of course. And the Earthbound Immortal is then better to play at 3, because then you keep having bodies in the graveyard to banish with its effects, of course. Yeah, 1 Launcher, 1 Reaper, 3 Burning. Burning is like the best card together with Necrocaster from the support wave. Burning is just insane. Like 1-card starter, it does everything for the deck. Of course, you want to play it at 3 because you just want to see it. 2 of field spell, like explained. 1 Nightmare Throne. You can also be a third of the other field spell, but Nightmare Throne also has great synergy with the deck. Like if you want to go starter turbo, you can play like 3 Nightmare Throne, 3 Earthbound field spell, 1 Terraforming, 1 set rotation, and so on. Like the deck has insane consistency, which is really good. 3 Barrier, not Amulet. Barriers was better. It's just better because it can be activated turn it's set by Infernity Burning. So no need for the Amulet. Barrier, of course, not once per turn. Then for non-engine, the Dominus cards are notable because the deck is only dark. So of course we are gonna play the Dominus cards. You can actually run more monster hand traps also, but I prefer with Imperm. Because like it has great synergy with the Dominus cards. But yeah, this deck can play a lot of non-engine, which is really, really good. It's really also what Infernity needs. And the deck can play monster hand traps really easy now because of Burning, just discarding everything. Yeah, for the extra deck, we're just playing like a lot of generic Dark Synchros and Dark Fiends to make your end board really insane. 2 Necrocasters for the support wave because it's just really good to have, and you can just summon it as many times per turn. Of course, the effect is hard once per turn, with this, which is totally fair because of how insane it is. But yeah, it's really nice to play too because it's just a level 6 synchro, of course. But yeah, that basically for the deck list, I will also showcase the Dark Tuner version deck list. Like that. Then here's for the Dark Tuner version. You basically just get 1 Archfiend because it's fine at 1 in the deck, and you just play no Nightmare Throne because the consistency is already good enough. And for the rest, same extract, and for the rest, also the same main deck, basically. Now for the combo, like I said, this deck has insane amount of 1-card starters, but the best one definitely is the Feared Memory. Yeah, so you just start with Fear Memory and 4 other cards in hand because you need to discard those with Burning. Like I said, this also showcased that you can just play with monster hand traps in the deck. So you make Necrocaster after summoning Force Linewalker and Cleric. And then you can search for burning. You discard your entire hand and then dump 4 Infernities, 1 extra with Sage. Sage is just really nice to have as that extra level 2 tuner. You go for Necromancer for Cleric. Cleric makes self level 1 and 100 Ice Dragon copy effect. Then we go for Dispater. Dispater for Necromancer. Necromancer for Archfiend. Archfiend for Barrier. Then we go for Coyote, summon itself back, make level 800 Ice Dragon again. Copy Necromancer again, make 100 Ice Doom Dragon. Then we go for Launcher for Archfiend Sage. Archfiend for Barrier. Then Cleric effect to summon out Battle Dwarf from the deck. Then dump Mirage from your deck. Go for Servant. Then we go here for Zalen. Then we go here for Chaos Angel. Then 100 Ice Doom Dragon in order to copy Necrocaster. And then just summoning back everything. Make Crimson Dragon, summon back Dispater. Passing on this crazy end board. Yeah, basically you pass on this crazy end board. Let's break it down. The 2 barrier as negates, then the amulet as destruction. Of course, 3 barriers better, but I wanted to showcase like every support card in the deck. So showcasing amulet now. Amulet still is a fine card. Crimson Dragon to shuffle back a dragon to negate a card. 100 Eye Doom Dragon to banish one of their cards. Salen to negate. Bestial Dispater to negate or destroy. Chaos Angel to make everything indestructible by battle. Also, no synchro monsters are unaffected, sadly, because it wasn't made with light. Yeah, the Archfiend just chilling to make the barriers live. And yeah, the field spell, you just have an insane amount of interruption. And this would really make, Pure Infernity really viable again for sure. Now for the conclusion. So in this conclusion, I'll just answer these 5 questions I made for this series, as in are these support cards worth are these support cards really, would these support cards be cool to come out, and are they good, you know, those kind of questions. So let's start. For the first questions, is it consistent? So is this support wave consistent that we got with these custom support cards? Hell yeah, it is. Like these support cards are crazy consistent. Like you have Infernity Burning, you have the field spell, and you have the level 3 as 1-card starters, and you can even max more on 1-card starters with like Earthbound Prisoner, Linewalker, Nightmare Throne, Terraforming, Set Rotation, whatever more you can. This is very consistent support. So is it consistent? Hell yeah, it is. Like 10 out of 10 consistency. It's crazy good for Infernity. 2, does it let us play better going second and better through hand traps? It does for sure. It gives the deck more plays. And like I said, you have a lot of starters, so you can go to your plays really easy. So you can easily go, you can easily play better going second. You can play a lot of non-engines, yeah, for sure you can play better going second. Yeah, better through hand traps. Like I said, you get a lot of you can have a lot of play, so you can easily play through more hand traps, which is really really nice. For 3, would this support make Pure Infernity viable in modern Yu-Gi-Oh? For sure, this support is bonkers. It would make Infernity maybe even already like a tiered deck with this support. So for sure it would. Would I like it myself? I really like the like aesthetic that of the Dark Signer Kellen Kessler. I am more of a fan of the Crashdown Kellen Kessler, but in the end it doesn't matter. These support cards look really really cool. Dark Signer Kellen Kessler is also really goated. So I would really like these cards to become real for sure. They also synergize with the Dark Tuner, which is a really cool aspect. And Earthbound Immortal Kapu Kapu even got a retrain in this custom support wave. So hell yeah, I would really like to see that for sure. And my final question is for everyone that is watching this video. Do you like this support? Would you like for this support to become reality? Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that was it for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all enjoyed. It's a video made for entertainment purposes. I really want to thank Derek, XYZ Derek, for participating in this series. I hope this video was also up to his satisfaction. Please let me know if you're watching. And yeah, hopefully we will get a new participant soon. If you would like to participate, be sure to read the pinned comment and see how to participate. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for the support. See you all next video / stream. Infernity best deck, Infernity for life, forever and always. Hell yeah. See you on the next one. Bye bye. Have a great day.